Good day everyone. I am here again to discuss another lesson which is all about occupational health and safety. Once again, I am Mrs. Lorena R. de Guzman in collaboration with Ms. Rose Madel G. Gipusoy. To start this lesson, let us have this question about occupational health and safety. Okay, so for you to get along with our lesson, you may open your book on page 80 to 85. Okay, how important are occupational health and safety procedures and practices to each front office staff? Okay, OHS is very important to each front office staff so that they can avoid risk their life or risking their life. Okay, so let us have this occupational, okay, this is the title of our lesson, occupational health and safety procedure. Okay, technical terms to remember. Number one, we do have the biodegradable waste. Okay. Biodegradable waste are those waste that can be decomposed and does not need to be burned, especially that burning is forbidden. Okay, ibig sabihin, bawal, okay, ipinagbabawal na ngayon ang pagsisilab ng mga basura. Okay, pagsisilab or pagsusunog ng mga basura dahil ito ay nakakaapekto sa ating ozone layer. Okay, the second one is the disaster. Okay, disaster is, of course, it is a result of a calamity that hits in a particular area. So, if there is a calamity like typhoon, yung nakaraang typhoon na nga, or bagyo, of course, it will have or it will result into a disaster. Okay, katulad na nga lang ng mga nasirang bahay, nalubog na bahay, nalubog sa baha, nalubog sa putik. Okay, so, that is a disaster. That is a result of a calamity. Okay, hazard. Hazard, of course, is anything that can cause harm or damage to human. So, maaaring a hazard from human, from animals, hazard from virus, from physical hazard, or chemical hazard. So those are hazards. Okay, next is non-biodegradable. Okay, non-biodegradable are waste that cannot be decomposed. Okay, so those are waste that we can use for recycling. Okay, non-biodegradable. Okay, risk. Okay, risk is the possibility that something bad or unpleasant will happen, such as injuries and health problems. Okay, so that is risk. Okay, so don't forget those technical terms. So let us have the provision in OSHC that should be strictly followed and applied in all hospitality industry. So what is OSHC? OSHC is the Occupational Safety and Health Center. Okay. So the first one is the registration, legal business with proper coordination with the regional labor office. It includes the layout of storage, equipment, safety devices, and exits is needed. So take a look at the layout. So layout is very important in registering your business establishment so that the OH or the Occupational Safety and Health Center will identify your exits and your entries so that they will know if your workers or employees are safe in your building or working area. Okay, the second one is the security of premises. Installation of adequate safety signs, symbols, and instructions is a standard requirement for every establishment. Of course, safety signs and symbols is very important in any establishment so that the workers, the front office staff, or the clients or guests are aware of what is happening on a particular area. Okay, like full rules. Full rules. So, for example, merong swimming pool dun sa lugar na yun or sa hotel na yun. So, the employees, or the guests will identify the do's and don'ts in a particular area, especially the pool area. Okay, notice security guards on site. All visitor must check in at the front desk. Symbols are very important so that the guests or the clients, the workers, or the front office staffs are aware of what is happening or what is the do's and don'ts in a building. Okay, the next one is the occupational health and environmental control. It established the allowable of toxic substances and physical agents that can cause harms to the health of guests and employees. So, in this part, occupational health and environmental control decide on what kind of substances ang pwede lang ipasok sa loob ng ating building or ng ating lodging establishment so that our workers or employees, and the front office staff, as well as the guests, are safe with chemicals or intoxication. Okay, personal protective equipment and devices or PPE help reduce the exposure of employees to the hazard caused by heat, noise, chemical, electrical, and mechanical. Okay, wearing, as what I have discussed from the last module, wearing appropriate PPEs for a job requirement is very important. Sabi ko nga, hindi ka magsusuot ng helmet or protected hat kung ikaw lamang naman ay kung ikaw ay nagtatrabaho, for example, sa office. Okay? So, anytime, hindi ka naman kailangan magsuot ng protective hat. Ibig sabihin, there is a PP is appropriate for a job requirement. Kung ano ang hinihingi ng trabaho mo, kung ano yung trabaho mo, dapat appropriate yung suot mong personal protective equipment. Para daw, ikaw ay comfortable gumalaw. Okay? Komportable ka sa pagkilos at sa pagtatrabaho. Okay, so those are the PPEs. Example of PPEs: protected hat, protected eyeglass, face mask or dust mask, noise for noise. This one, headphone. Okay, the pants, vest, the boots, and the gloves. Okay, Clean Air Act of 1999. Republic Act 8749, otherwise known as the Philippine Clean Air Act of 1999, is a constitutionally inspired law that is designed to make sure that all Filipinos have a clean and safe air to breathe. It is a landmark legislation that sets a comprehensive air quality management policy and program toward the achievement and maintenance of fresh and healthy air. Of course, having a safe and clean air to breathe is a right of every Filipino. Okay? Ibig sabihin, karapatan daw ng bawat tao or ng bawat isa o ng bawat Pilipino na magkaroon ng malinis na hangin na lalanghapin. Okay? So that's why kaya nagkaroon tayo ng Clean Air Act of 1999. So para daw maprotektahan ang karapatan ng bawat isa na magkaroon ng fresh at malinis na hangin na lalanghapin. Okay, Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000 or the Republic Act number 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000 aims to adopt a systematic, comprehensive, and ecological solid waste management program which shall ensure the protection of the public health and environment, set guidelines and target for solid waste avoidance and volume reduction, utilize environmentally sound method that maximize the use of valuable resources and encourage resource conservation, ensure the proper segregation, collection, transportation, storage, and disposal of solid waste through formulation and adaptation of best environmental practices. Encourage greater private sector participation in solid waste management. Promote national research and development programs for improved solid waste management. Retain primary enforcement and responsibility of solid waste management with local government units in partnership with government and non-governmental organization in the private sector. Okay. Next is, take a look at, we do have four trash bin here. Blue for paper, green for glass, plastic for yellow, and metal for red. Okay, take a look at blue. Paper, newspapers, magazine, books, and paper packaging. Green, glass, wine bottles, beer bottles, and glass jars. Yellow for plastic, plastic bags, plastic containers, plastic bottles. Red for metals, metal containers, and cans. Okay, the 3 R's of solid waste management. Okay, reduce, reuse, recycle. Okay, reduce refers to practices that will bring down the amount of trash generated by avoiding the amount of unnecessary packaging of the products and reducing the waste toxicity. So, meaning, from the reduce, ibig sabihin reduce, babawasan daw ang pag-generate ng basura. So, paano tayo makakapagbawas ng basura? So, for example, you're going to the market and you are going to buy fish. So, what are you going to do? You need to bring your own container or your own Tupperware so that no need to buy another plastic. Okay? So from that, mababawasan natin yung basura. Hindi na natin kailangan magdala pa ng plastic pa sa bahay. At hindi natin alam kung saan natin itatapon or kailangan pa nating sunugin. At dahil bawal naman talaga ang magsunog, so para maiwasan ang pagsusunog ng basura na mga hindi na natin re-recycle at hindi pwedeng i-reuse, reduce ang gawin natin. Magdala tayo ng mga plastic containers na pwedeng paglagyan natin ng fish or meats or anything na basa, okay, from the market. That is reduce. Bawasan ang pag-generate ng basura. Reuse is by considering reusable products, bag, containers, and other items can be used a second time. Borrow, rent, or share items used frequently and maintain and repair reusable products. Okay, so ibig sabihin reuse. Pag sinabi natin reuse, gamitin ulit. Meaning, we can use eco bag. Okay? When we are going to the market, eco bag ang gamitin natin na paglalagyan natin ng pamimilhin. Hindi no need na para magkaroon pa ng, for example, yes na decompose naman yung mga paper bag na binibigay sa supermarket or sa mga groceries. But, much better kung magdadala na tayo ng ating eco bag at doon na lang, yun ang ating gagamitin tuwing tayo ay mamimili. So, from that, nababawasan ang pag-generate ng basura, napapakanabangan pa natin yung mga bagay-bagay na pwede nating pakinabangan. Reuse. Okay, yung mga plastic bottles natin, pwede siyang i-recycle, of course. So, pwede mo rin siyang pagtaniman ng mga halaman. Okay, reuse. Or, pwede mo siyang gamitin ang ulit for the second time pag lagyan ulit ng tubig. Pero on the third time, bawal na. Okay, that is reuse. Gamitin ulit. Recycle. It is a process of recovering and converting materials that can be used as raw materials to produce another new product. Okay,
So katulad ng mga napapanood natin or Bulaga, they are collecting plastic bottles to make as a raw materials in creating a chairs. So from that, they use plastic bottle to recycle. Okay, next is Revised Fire Code of the Philippines. Republic Act number 9154 or the Revised Fire Code of 2008 ensure public safety and health through the prevention of all kinds of destructive fire, which shall be administered and enforced by the Bureau of Fire Protection. The Fire Code enumerates fire safety measures for handling, storing, manufacturing, and using of hazardous materials. It should be applied to all persons in all public and private building facilities, structures constructed before and after its effectivity. Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act of 2010, Republic Act of 10121, or the Philippine Risk Reduction and Management Act of 2010 aims toward the development of policies and plans and the implementation of actions and measures pertaining to all aspects of disaster risk reduction and management, including good governance, risk assessment, and early warning, knowledge building, and awareness raising reduction of underlying risk factors, in preparedness for effective response and early recovery. Disaster is a serious disruption of functions of community that adversely affect human life, property, and environment. Although some areas are more prone to specific types of disaster, disaster occurs everywhere. Okay, disaster preparedness and management addresses to deliver best assistance to victims that involve prevention, preparation, response, relief, and recovery. Okay, and the prevention involves elimination of possibility of disaster. It involves vulnerability analysis updates, zoning and land management, building safety codes and regulation, and public health care education. Preparation involves aims to achieve a standard level of readiness to effectively respond to any kind of emergency situation. It ensures strategic reserves of food, equipment, water, medicines, and first aid supplies. Okay, under response, it includes the actual reaction to a disaster when it occurs. Alertness and determination are needed to cope with and survive the disaster. Relief aims to provide immediate and effective assistance to those affected by a disaster. It can be in the form of transportation, food, shelter, clothing, medicine, and means of communication. And for the recovery, it includes returning vital life support system to a normal standards. It includes health and safety education, reconstruction, counseling programs, and economic impact studies. So, recovery is very important. For example, hindi ang sapat na nabigay ka ng pangangailangan ng bawat isa. Napaka-importante na i-recover din natin ang mental and spiritual health ng bawat isa. So that's why meron tayong recovery. Sabi nga natin, prevention is better than cure. Pero of course, hindi natin maiiwasan, lalo na at mga natural disaster. So, at the end of this, dapat lagi tayong may maitutulong in terms of their mental and spiritual health. So, that's it for this week lesson. I hope you understand well. And of course, have a good day ahead. Go back to your module and answer the following activities provided for you.